Welcome home to St. Anne's.
I had to bring notes today because you guys know that I never remember anything.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet
So I was
you.
sitting back there, just sitting there waiting for church to start, missing a stole. It's fine. Don't ask how much sleep I get. I had a meeting this week with a couple parishioners, and on the drive there, I was like, I didn't put deodorant on today. I blame the baby. I sat really far away from them because that's what's nice. It's a really good way to alienate you all. Stinking. Anyway, you guys are used to it by now, right? I feel like none of this is a surprise. So anyway, our readings today really focus on what does it mean to be a Christian? And that's a question that gets asked a lot, I think, in our culture, right? And every church has their kind of rules, right? You go to my favorite is when people come and visit for the first time. They're like, well, what does it take to join? And I was like, you come. And they're like, well, no, but are there do you have to sign something? Are there rules and stuff? And I was like, you should come. I highly recommend that you pray and just love one another. That's kind of how we do things, right? But we're really used to there being rules and expectations for what does it mean to be a Christian. Well, those aren't real Christians. Those are real Christians. This is what you got to do. You got to believe these things. You got to follow these things. And believe it or not, this has been something throughout all time that we've been figuring out what does it mean to be a follower of Jesus, right? And this happens right after Jesus is crucified. And so you get this idea in Acts that they're kind of gathering together, trying to figure out, okay, well, how do we do this, right? And let's come at it from their perspective. They've had Jesus with them, right? They've been following Jesus. Jesus is, I think, and sometimes confusing to them, but fairly clear, right, about Jesus' expectations. And so they've had their leader with them. But suddenly he's gone. But they know that they're still supposed to follow God and Jesus, but they're not really sure how to do that. And so in classic human way, what is the first thing they start to do? They come up with rules. What does it mean to be in and what does it mean to be out? We got rules for those people and rules for those people. We don't really want those people in here. So here are the rules. You got to be circumcised. You can't eat these certain things. You got to follow. Because remember, most of them are Israelites, right? They're Jewish. I don't know if you know this or not. Jesus was a Jew. Oh, I know, right? Christians are really good about forgetting that. Sometimes we're like, what? But so they've been following Jewish culture, right? And Jewish law. And so one of the things they're like, we gotta keep these rules about who's in and who's out. Even though Jesus kind of blew all those rules apart, but now that we're in charge, what's the first thing that we're gonna do? We're gonna cauterize this. Right, let's codify it. And so that's what we start to do. And I want to focus on what Jesus says, because this is super important. And I know everyone likes to go to John 3:16 and we talk about all this stuff. No. This is this is so important that I will tell you, I have it tattooed on my ankle, because this is the most important piece of scripture, I believe. What does Jesus say it means to be a Christian? What is Jesus' commandment? Love one another as I have loved you. Love one another as I have loved you. And that is how they're going to know that you are followers of mine. Not by what you say, not by the rules that you impose on yourself or others. How will they know that we are Christians? by how we live together, right? How do we interact with one another? How do I feel towards you? How do I show that I feel towards you? That's it. There are no rules. There's no, you must do this, you must not do that. None of that. And I realize that we as humans love a good rule, right? Let's come up with some rules. We have rules at school, we have rules in churches, we have rules at home. We got all these rules, right? And yet, they're meaningless. They're meaningless unless they support the love that we have for each other. I'm not going out there and telling you to break all the rules, but I will tell you to break a few. I will absolutely tell you break a few. Because if those rules and expectations, our priorities are not grounded in the love that we have for one another, they're meaningless. And frankly, shouldn't even be followed at all, some of them. Because sometimes those rules are meant to hurt and to harm and to separate. And that's never the purpose. The purpose is this: love one another as I have loved you. That's it. That's what it means to be a Christian. Now, having said that, that's it. That's what it means to be a Christian. Anyone ever tried it? Next step is, what does that even mean, right? Because, well, does it mean that I just have to be like Midwestern nice to everybody? No. Was Jesus nice to everybody? Absolutely not. Did Jesus love everybody? 100%. Those two things aren't the same. Do you love your kids? Yeah. Are you always nice to your kids? Ask my kids. No. And Wesley this week was like, I'm afraid of you. And I was like, what? I'm like 5'4" and nothing. Like, what am I going to do? But so nice and love are not the same thing. Right? Just kind of a free-for-all is laissez-faire is not love. Love does have expectations. Love does have controls on our behaviors, right? But it has to be internal. It has to come from that source of love. What I do and what I choose not to do has to be based on how I show that I love you. And it doesn't matter how much I say I'm a Christian, what I wear, or any of that other stuff. When I first came to the diocese, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm pretty laid back. Not really into the collars. I know, that comes as a huge shock to all of you. I'd been a priest for like 3 years before I came to the Diocese of West Missouri. It's not like this was like the first time I'd ever showed up in a church, right? And I went to a clergy meeting, and somebody got really upset. And they said, you have to wear a collar, because that's how you're going to show your authority. Like, even when you go get your car fixed, you need to wear a collar. That's what lets people know your authority and that you're a priest. They won't show you any respect if you're not wearing one. And I said, if I have to wear a collar, then I've already lost all that respect and authority. If you don't know that I'm a priest and that I'm a Christian by how I interact with you, I've already failed. It is not if we say we're a Christian, it's not how we dress, it's not any of that stuff. It's not where we go to church. You should go to St. Anne's, though. Just saying. I think we're great. It's how we live, how we project Christ into the world. And again, I realize that's hard. So, there is this lovely saint. Her name is Teresa of Avila. She was a Spanish mystic, 515-ish, the middle ages, right? I don't know how much you know about what was going on in Europe around 1500, but a lot of people were dying. It was the time of the Black Death. Not a great time. And there's a lot going on. And she was a mystic, ascetic, lived in convents and stuff like that, which was something I highly recommend in the 1500s if you're a woman. That's really, I'm just telling you. If you're a woman in the 1500s, convent's a good place to be. But she actually is the only female doctor of the church. I know, you're like, what's a doctor of the church? And does that even matter? Not really, to be honest with you. But it just means that high-level intellectual, like, made a huge difference in the teachings. I think now I'm not Roman Catholic, okay? But I want to say there are only like 4 or 5 doctors of the church. But high levels. There's only one woman. It's Teresa of Avila. Brilliant woman. And she has a prayer, a poem. And I gave you all a copy. Hopefully you got it when you got your bulletin. I had to bring mine with me because she's really brilliant. And I knew that if I tried to memorize it, I would slaughter it. And I don't want to do that to her because she's lovely. But I would encourage you to keep this. This is one that I keep around because it's really important to me. Now, I don't have this one tattooed on my ankle because it takes up too much space. But it is one that I highly recommend because it's how do we live as Christians without Jesus, right? So I want to, are you okay with my reading it to you, or do you hate it when people read out? It's on, okay. There is a stack of them next to the bulletins out on the island. So in that case, I don't feel bad reading it to you. Because I always feel bad when you go to like a speaker or whatever and they read their PowerPoint to you. And you're like, I can read. So I don't want to do that to you. But I am going to read this because I love it so much. Christ has no body but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which he walks to do good. Yours are the hands with which he blesses all the world. Yours are the hands, yours are the feet. Yours are the eyes, you are his body. Christ has no body now but yours. No hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which he looks compassion on this world. Christ has no body now on earth but yours. Right? I know, there's a reason she's a doctor of the church. I mean, she's brilliant. That's how we do it. That's how we are Christians. By going out and living it. Because Christ has no body on earth but yours.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
So what face did she say